Hello, Pokemon trainers, and welcome to yet another episode of the Pokemon Safari Guide. Today we will be talking about Bronzong, which is a very interesting trick room setter, staller, and surprise sweeper. We'll get into that though. Galar number 119, national number 437, Bronzong. Bronzong is known as the Bronze Bell Pokemon. It evolves from Bronzor at level 33, and it cannot breed. Its egg group is mineral, and it is genderless. So it was first introduced in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. A weight of 412.3 pounds, which is important to know if you're going to be running Heavy Slam. Its typing is Steel and Psychic, and it has weaknesses to Fire, only when it has Levitate, and Ground, when it has Heatproof as its ability. It also has weaknesses to Ghost and Dark. It has resistances to Poison, which it's completely immune. Ground, if it's running Levitate, it's immune. Normal, Grass, Ice, Flying, Psychic, which is 1/4 immunity, or not immunity, but 1/4 resistance. Rock, Dragon, Steel, and Fairy. If you want to read Bronzong's Pokedex entries, you can, but I am going to continue on, so you could pause here. But basically, it's kind of a mystical Pokemon, psychic powers, whatnot, and being really old is part of its history. But yeah, pause if you want, but I'm moving on. It has 3 abilities, which you've kind of already talked about, but Levitate, which is by floating in the air, the Pokemon receives full immunity to all ground-type moves. And it has Heatproof, which is it halves the damage from Fire-type moves that hit it. So if you're running Levitate or Heatproof, you can kind of choose which one you want to be weak to, depending on the team that you're going up against, or depending on other members of your team. If you've got like a Corviknight on your team, or say another flying type like an immunity to ground type, like another Levitate Mon, then you probably don't want to run Levitate on him, because you already have a way to absorb ground type hits. You could run Heatproof to make sure that Fire doesn't hurt him, and vice versa. His last ability is Heavy Metal, which I wouldn't run, but if you're wanting to run Heavy Slam or something like that, you can if you want to. It doubles the Pokemon's weight. It is a base stat total of 500, so pretty good. Not bad. And most of that is because of the 116 defense and special defense. But pretty abysmal speed, which is why it's good for trick rooms. So this is the first of basically 3 builds, although the second 2 are basically a variation. This is the anti-setter build. So if you know that your opponent's going to send out like a Shuckle, you can set up and sweep with Bronzong, and it's incredibly effective. So max special defense, go in on their setter, get some iron defenses off, 1, 2, 3 if you can, and then just body press all the way till the end, because you're going to KO pretty much everything that's not a ghost type. But also the ability to set Stealth Rock and use Protect. We run Protect to get that extra leftovers recover. But yeah, being able to set up on another setter is really useful. So take advantage of that if you can. That's why I like this build so much. There's a lot of people that like to run Stealth Rock setters, so keep that in mind. Alternative build, you can run max defense, depending on your opponent's team. You again switch between Levitate and Heatproof, depending on what you think. You can also run Mental Herb if you want to make sure that you don't get taunted. It's really up to you if you're afraid of getting taunted, or you know that your opponent likes to taunt. Go ahead, run Mental Herb. We've already talked about alternative abilities. Alternative moves are Gyro Ball, Heavy Slam, Confuse Ray, Light Screen, Reflect, Sandstorm, Speed Swap, Substitute, and Swagger. I put Sandstorm on there because, again, he's Steel type. If you run Sandstorm, then he's going to get more special defense. So that's useful. And it also does a little bit of chip damage on your opponent. And gets rid of any focus ashes. So keep that in mind. Speed Swap is also useful if you want to kind of cripple your opponent or make yourself really fast. Confuse Ray, get your screens, Substitute, all very useful moves. So keep those in mind. These next two builds, the first one is a more of a toxic stall build. Basically, you poison, set up your stealth rocks. So like toxic, then you protect, recover with leftovers. Then you use stealth rock, and then you protect and you recover. Then you use gyro ball, then you protect and you get leftover. You basically just keep getting recovery from leftovers while they slowly toxic. And then once the next Pokemon comes in, you toxic and repeat, toxic, repeat. Pretty much the same build, EV wise. You'll actually probably want to run, well, not on that. Never mind. On the Trick Room Setter build, it's pretty much the same thing, except instead of Toxic, you're running Trick Room, and then you're going to run a Stab Attack and Zen Headbutt. You can run other attacks, but I like Zen Headbutt. You're not going to want to run Gyro Ball in Trick Room, but outside of Trick Room, that's what it's for. But yeah, pretty much just using Bronzong's bulk to safely set up Trick Room. Really useful. Being able to get a Trick Room off safely, that's the trick. If you can get a Trick Room off, then you send in your Trick Room Sweeper and you just do what needs to be done. You can run Mental Herb, like I said before, to make sure Trick Room gets off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Great on doubles, great on singles, especially the anti-setter build. It is a very good singles build. I wouldn't run it in doubles, but these other two, pretty useful. Pretty useful doubles on the Trick Room build, but more singles on the Toxic Stall build. Finally, this has been a product of Couch Pilot Games. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Couch Pilot Games, or you can join us on Facebook. You can also join our Pokemon Draft League, which is the reason why I'm making this particular video. Season 4 is coming out, and Bronzong is going to be on one of the teams in Season 4. So I'm giving a basic foundation for somebody using Bronzong on how to use it for their benefit as well as yours. So thank you to our listeners. Thank you for listening. Follow us on our accounts, join our groups, and get in touch with the Couch Pilot community. Thank you so much. See ya.